Welcome back, ladies and gents. What a time to be alive right now as things are going crazy. Holy. Let's get this table up a little bit more. Whoa, here we go. We're gonna raise up the table. Welcome, every single one of you. Welcome. This is the Friday night live stream. We're getting back to basics here tonight. We are back. We're back, baby. We're back. Bring the chat in. Come on in, chat. I see a lot of familiar names right here. Hey, Rudy, what's happening, brother? Angela, every one of you. I see a lot of green in the chat, and you know what that means. That means anyone who's got a green name in the chat, that's a member of the community. Thank you all for becoming members and sticking by. This past week has been 2 weeks. 2 weeks has been hectic. It's been all over the place. It's been a lot of fun, and things are gonna go back to a little bit of normalcy here for the next little while. This is a thing, and of course, what y'all been doing over the past couple of weeks? Things are crazy. So for those that don't know, I spent a couple of weeks down in Texas, and we were touring around. It was me and some friends meeting up and getting to know some of the locals, getting to bringing other people down. I don't know if you caught it. If you didn't, go back and check out some of the stuff that's been going on. I've got some other things that I have not even edited yet. Yeah, because when you're out there doing stuff on the street, sometimes you just don't have time to do all the editing. So now that I've got that footage, I'm going to be bringing that back. I'm going to get on that, and I'm going to get some stuff out. So if it seems like, wait a second, Clyde, aren't you back? Are you still in Texas? What's going on? I don't understand. That would be why. It's because I haven't concluded. I haven't finished all of that stuff. That's what's going on. Clyde, you're doing something. John has. Is that Johannes or Johannes? Thank you so much. Yeah, I am doing something. Mechanics, Clyde, do something. Did you go by Gas Monkey? I didn't go by Gas Monkey. Is that Gas Monkey Garage, the YouTube channel? No, there was a lot going on. Did go to a Buc-ee's. That's a thing. Clyde made me want to fly to Texas. Go to Texas. You won't regret it. I'm not kidding. It is such a great place and filled with such great people. I can't say enough great things about it. I really can't. And shooting guns is always fun. There's a bunch of footage of that. I'm gonna mix it into the whole mix of stuff. But apparently, YouTube's got some terms of service that I got to abide by. We were shooting a lot of automatic guns, full autos. Like you can go to the gun range and you can rent anything. These aren't things you can purchase, and we'll get into some of that if you want. But there's gonna be some videos coming out. But you cannot show the footage of that on YouTube. It's against the terms of service to show that unless it's in unless it's in a theatric thing, something along those lines. But that's a big thing. We need Trump, please. yeah, no kidding. Wow, Texas is where all my cousins are. They tell me I should find a job here and move over. LOL. Well, I was gonna get into some of this stuff because. Yeah, finding a job there, man, I got some, there's some misnomers. I got to tell people there are some misnomers about what things are like down there versus what things are like here. People just don't know. And this is why I like to tell the tale of what's going on. The tale of two countries. Mark Nixon, welcome back, Clyde. Welcome back yourself. When are we doing a show together? I can't wait to you're back from, where were you? You were off in another nice warm place with your fam and all that. Yeah, we got to do a show together. Let's make that happen. Justin Trudeau voting for Pierre. Clyde, just be sure to stay out of Jasmine Crockett's area. Who's that? I don't know who that is. I'd like to find out, though. Carnage ran like a scolded dog today. I'm hearing all kinds of stuff. We're going to get into some of that. We're going to be playing it. I am down. Mexico. Mexico is where you were. I was on the other. I was the Texaco side of things. Right around the same time. But Mark, yeah, we got to do a show together. Maybe this week even. I would love to make that happen. By the way, if you don't know Mark Nixon, head over to his channel. He's killing it. Lovely content, fantastic. He's all over the place too. If you're on Instagram, you're on X, go follow him. He's got all kinds of stuff. Don't forget to follow RudyCast while you're at it, and go follow his English channel too. He's got 2 channels. Big stuff happening. Lots of good things. Peter from Edmonton saying hi Peter, good to see you. Oh, that was Solar saying that. my bad. When people need the same amount of likes as views. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button when you come into the chat. It helps out tremendously. It really does. It helps out a lot. And the whole point is really just how the algorithm works. So the algorithm works in this way. If you engage with the content that you like, it's almost like they make it work for you. You make you have to work for it, but nonetheless, it helps out the channels that you like the most. If you like these channels, you like hanging around here, hit that like button, engage in the chat, engage with the comments afterwards. Chat with other people in the comments afterwards. All of that stuff helps out tremendously. What it does actually is they make a little profile of you. I know it sounds creepy, but it's not because they want to make a profile out of you because they want anything from you. What they want to do is they want to offer you up ads, the best ads that'll be for you, stuff that you might want to buy. If they don't know anything about you, they're basically selling you. They'll be selling you all kinds of crazy, like maybe Mark Carney ads or something along those lines. So the way they do this is they look at the content that you like, and if you like this, you have a profile of different things that you like. If you like this content, well, I bet you we know a bunch of people that would like it too, based on their surfing habits, and that's all really how it goes. I like cheese. I love cheese. You know what kind of cheese is great? The kind that doesn't have a 250% tariff on it. That would be fantastic. Let's get some of that cheese in here too to compete with the dairy lobby cheese. I would love to see that. Because when I was down there, I ate a lot of cheese, and it was really, really good. Hit that like button and get some cheese. There we go. Why did we get on the cheese chat there? Then you can't sit in the House of Commons, I'm pretty sure. What, if Mark Carney loses his seat? Yeah, that would be the thing. He could still be the leader of the Liberal Party. That's a thing like that. How can I tap people on this chat? Wait, what? How can I tap people on this chat from my iPhone? Sorry, I'm not used to this tech. Oh, on Android, you'll have to hit like @ and then start typing their name. It should probably pop in, and then that should work in that way. Tag, I mean, that's what you meant. We seniors love cheese, even though the doctors tell us is oh man, I ate so much barbecue this week, I started getting heartburn. It was a thing. And not because the barbecue was bad. It was just the barbecue. It was so good. Get the wobbly pops. Absolutely. Let's get into this. We're just starting the show from Monday. Yeah, good one. Just get into the show. If you got yourself a wobbly pop, crack it. We're gonna get into this. I started off the show with, of course, this one. Make Canada, well, it says the 51st state, but make Canada great again. We want to see that. I want to see that. We want to see things. And how do we make things great? Well, there's a lot of ways to make things great. And there's a lot of ways to not make things great. Let's be sure of that. Let me tell you, this is probably one of them. I rolled into the airport today, been gone away. I've been away for a minute. Just for a minute, I come back to see this at the airport as people are coming into the country. You gotta be kidding me. With all the Canada merch, all the usual, like, oh, there's beavers and there's moose and all of that kind of stuff. And then you stumble into this. And it just makes me sigh. Like, what? Why? Why are you doing this? I didn't do it. I thought of this afterwards. I was like, I should have grabbed the shirt and had a look at the tag, because I'm sure it would have said made in China on it. Definitely not a made in Canada product. But this is the image that we're sending out there to the world. And it does not need to be this at all. It doesn't need to be this, and it ought not to be this, because people are very confused. People are very confused at the moment, and this elbows up crowd, this elbows up thing. I mean, for one, elbows up, it's, I didn't even know what it meant at first, but it's a hockey move where you're cheating by, I don't know, giving people concussions. That's a thing. Not sure. Yeah, I don't like this. I've never liked this. This is a thing. So I've grown up with this sort of, it's been an underlying thing in Canadian culture for a very long time. The whole concept that what defines a Canadian is that we're not Americans. I don't buy that. We have so much in common with the Americans. We have more in common with the Americans than we have with anybody else. And it seems absolutely asinine to be having this kind of behavior. And when it comes out in full force, it's embarrassing. It really is just an embarrassment. But I've dealt with this for a large chunk of my lifetime. Anytime somebody finds out in my upbringing that I'm an American citizen, I'll get attitude. I'll get total attitude. So I wanted to ask people in Texas, since I was down there, and I was going around to do a bunch of different places. We first flew into Dallas, Fort Worth. We were hanging out there for a while. Then we went to Austin. I did a day trip to Houston. Spent most of the time in Austin. Found myself in Hilltop Lakes. Beautiful country out there. Such fantastic people out there. I have a friend out there that lives in a beautiful neighborhood. And as you drive around, just like checking out the neighborhood, every single person that sees you waves at you. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? It's so great. So it's really something else. The attitude stuff that we've been getting from a lot of people, it doesn't seem to be panning out as this stereotype. And this is there are a lot of people with the same sort of what would you say, experience in their lives. Yukon Strong on Twitter today, I put this out there, or I didn't put this, he put this out there. Yukon Strong saying, been saying this for a while now, since the booing started, America is the kinder nation. It's because they are one culture united for freedom. Canada has hostile subcultures who demonize and victimize their peers in hopes of privilege and money from the government. Now, I want to share this because this one really struck pretty close. I think this lovely lady, she lives in Tennessee, and it was much the experience of what I just got over the past 2 weeks. Hear her out on this one.
I moved from Canada to Tennessee less than a year ago. It's only been some months. I'm constantly, absolutely in awe of how kind and warm and welcoming, helpful, and social people are down here. And it's crazy to me because I feel like Canada has this reputation of having like the nicest, most polite people around. It is absolutely not the case. So I had lived in Canada for 26 years. I'm not from Canada originally either. I was born in Ukraine. I lived in Israel, immigrated to Canada with my family when I was 6 years old, and then lived there for 26 years. People are nice, but they're not kind towards you. You know what I mean? And obviously there are exceptions to the rule. There's a lot of lovely folks up in Canada, but you wouldn't go into stores consistently, have people always strike up a conversation with you, always look you in the eye, always be super kind and like genuinely interested in you and like having a warm, real, authentic interaction with you. You just don't get that. So moving down here was like, I was in shock. And I know like the whole Southern hospitality thing, like people talk about it, but I just wasn't expecting it to this level. So I don't really know how Canadians have the reputation for being the nicest humans on the planet, because it is not true. Those people exist here in Tennessee. Thank you for coming to my Sasha talk.
Thank you for coming to my talk. Now, I'm seeing in the comments here, Mechanics says the U.S. is not so loving from what I'm hearing lately. Now, this is what I'm interested in hearing from people. I'm really, really genuinely interested in hearing this, because everywhere I went, people were absolutely loving and caring. it was the case. But again, I was in like the Texas Tri-Cities. Now we're hearing from her. She's from Tennessee, but we might be hearing about people, I don't know, in the, I don't know, Seattle, Portland area. I hear different things. I'd like to know. I would like to know. And if I get a chance, I'd like to go travel and talk to a lot of these people, because I find it absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Now, we've got a super chat from Winiska for $10. Southern hospitality is a real thing. Canada, love USA. Absolutely. I really, really absolutely think that. Now, the general gist of what I got from the messages from people while I was down there was, we don't understand why Canadians are hating us right now, or maybe we get it, but you know, we're not bad people. That's what they're saying for the most part. And a lot of like confusion of the whole, like, why there's animosity, that kind of thing. There were some people that were you know, not Trump people, and they thought it was justified. So let's just be clear on that. There's differing opinions on a lot of this stuff. I've noticed that people aren't friendly here anymore, and in Canada. Yeah. What is this? Mechanics saying to Angela, saying, I was in Tennessee and Mississippi lately. No problems. Yeah, no problems. I'm curious about it. Now, one of the things that really struck me when I was down there was the fact that, and you know, you almost have to tread lightly on this one. Almost have to, but I'm not going to, so forget it. I'm just going to come out and say it. When you go to restaurants, you go to service industry, you go to all these places, you go to your 7-Elevens, you go to your gas pumps, you go to fast food, you go to slow food, anywhere where there's servants serving you, and people in perhaps, how would you say it, entry-level position kind of jobs all over the place. They were a lot like I remember when I was a teenager in Canada. And let me quantify this. When I was a teenager, we had a thing. Me and my friends. Every Friday after school, we'd all get we'd get an allowance or whatever, $5 to go to McDonald's. Yeah, back in the late 90s, you could get a whole meal and get change after for $5 at McDonald's. And this isn't like a, hey, everybody go to McDonald's thing. I'm just saying that that's where we would go, because it was right across from the high school. So we would go there, and the makeup of all of the people that employed the place was very different from what it looks like today. That's an easy one. Get that one out in the open. Let's just give me a sec here. I know I'm missing something. Because Chon, before we even went live, gave a $6.99 super chat, and I really want to make sure that I don't miss that one. Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate that. He says Canadian Tire is full of SHIT from China, just like Mark Carney. Yeah, we're gonna get into the Mike Myers thing. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that. I need to also make sure that this is on live chat, because I've messed up that before, and you guys, you gotta keep giving me reminders or I'll forget. But I did remember this time. Bro, I remember bitching because my burger was $4. LOL. Yeah. What was it, a couple months ago? I just hankering a BLT. What was it? The quarter pounder BLT. So I just ordered that alone, and I get to the end of the drive-thru. It was like over $11. I was like, what? No, that can't be a thing. So anyway, let's get back on track onto that story. So when I was growing up, McDonald's employees, this is how it kind of looked, and this was across the board. You went to a Tim Hortons, you go to Wendy's, whatever. Name your joint. Swiss Chalet, like whatever. it would look a lot like this. The management class would be, you know, the management in the joint. They'd likely be some I don't know, a lady who you'd guess probably stayed at home with her kids, and then the kids grew up, and then she's like, I'll take a manager job at this place, that kind of thing. And then all the rest of the employees would be teenagers. And since I grew up in Windsor, Ontario, it was a melting pot. So it was just peppered of different ethnicities all over the place. And it was great. Some of them went to high school with me. They were just my peers. This was a thing. And this is how it... Now, chat, tell me what Tim Hortons looks like today. Tell me what Wendy's looks like today. Tell me what you see. Do you see a drastic difference in that approach? Please, by all means, tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat, what are you seeing when you go into these places? Is it different from how I just described it, from what it was like in the late 90s for most of us growing up? I'm sure most of us grew up around a similar time. Maybe you're a little bit younger, maybe you're a little bit older, but you remember a time when this is the way things were. You would go get you go to get gas, and yeah, there would be an attendant. And you know who he'd be? He'd probably be somebody who just got out of high school, or just literally finished the day at high school, ran over to his job to pump gas. Make it however many dollars an hour, whatever it was. That was the thing. And I'm seeing lots of things. Mark, what did Mark say? Completely different. People can make ends meet back then. Now they have to work 3 jobs. And a lot of these businesses, they're relying on what? Indian food. Now, most of the Indian food places that I know, they're actually run by Indian families. And it'll be a family of people that run the joint. And I like seeing that. That's fantastic. But what I see happening at a lot of the entry-level positions is really it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy what's been happening in our country. And it's not a tragedy because they're invading us or, you know, any of that stuff. It's a tragedy because businesses who don't want to pay people a decent amount and don't want the market to rise, don't want to allow the market to rise so that people can, you know, make a decent amount of money. If there's not enough people in the marketplace, what happens? You have to pay them more. You have to entice them in with a better amount of money. And you don't do that by lobbying the government. This is how you get rid of businesses, by lobbying the government. Hey, let's get the minimum wage way up so we knock that rung out of the bottom of the ladder for everybody else. Now, you know, Walmart's notorious for doing that in the market. They'll lobby the government to raise the minimum wage so that all the other local businesses can't afford their staff anymore. And then they'll go to Walmart, where they pay always above the minimum wage. This is a thing. Now, like after COVID, people making $20 an hour. Yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy. This is how it goes. This is how it ought to go. You know, if you can't afford the workers, or sorry, if you can't get people into your job, into your position, it's time to figure it out. Usually it's raising wages. Now, what do they do instead in Canada? Well, they found a nifty little loophole with the Liberal government, and that was LMIAs, labor. What is it? Something assessments. These are for temporary foreign workers, which has become this new backdoor for immigration. Temporary students will come over on similar visas, and it's this backdoor to permanent immigration. There's nothing more permanent than temporary government measure, as Milton Friedman once said. That's famous words. When they say temporary immigration, it's never nothing temporary about it, and nobody had any goals in temporariness. Now, I find it very interesting because of the stark difference that I noticed when I was in Texas, and let me explain. So I've been told, you know, when you go to Texas, you got to try a Whataburger. You got to have yourself a Whataburger. It's the best burger. It's a Texan thing. Go get yourself an In-N-Out burger. Get yourself Chick-fil-A when you're down in America. It's good stuff. You'll enjoy it. Y'all come back now. You hear? So you get that. I'm like, okay, sweet. I'm gonna try all these things. And I go to these places. I go to Chick-fil-A. It was an unbelievable experience. We go in the drive-thru, and there's these young kids that are out there holding these iPads, and they're like, "What can I get y'all? What would you like?" And we started talking to them, like, what's your job like? Do you make good money? Do you like the place? What's happening? And they would say, "Yeah, I love it here. It's fantastic. They treat me good. They pay me well. I love it." You'll weigh 300 pounds after a few years living in Texas, lol. Oh, yeah. No, the food's great. And I definitely went overboard with the food this time around. But yeah, no, I am not one to overeat. I can't do that. And I do it on vacations always. It's like when I go to Japan, I always overeat. I eat way too much. But here's the thing. So Angela's saying love Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out Burger. So, okay, these are the two places that were very stood out to me on this one. But this is the means. This is the norm. Like, I'm not talking about exceptional moments in time. This is the norm. Kitty Nukes for 5 says, never had a bad experience in the U.S. Open carry made me feel safer. Small towns along the Oregon coast, salt of the earth folk. So kind, so beautiful. I love it. I want to see more of this. I want to see people talking about their experience with good people. And I want to see it the other way around as well. Because this whole thing, this political mess that's happening is not because of America. This is our political class drumming up stuff for an election. We're going to get into all of that. Because I've got a lot to say tonight. I got a lot to say. Call your friends. Tell them to join in. Because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to get into this. I had awesome barbecue in Arizona. I bet. I want to try barbecue in all the different states. Because I hear that everyone does it different. And that's the thing. Brisket is the thing in Texas. Went to one place. The brisket was fantastic. But actually the pork chops were to die for. Well, a year from now, we'll be watching Clyde do something with a legit Texas drawl. We'll be talking. Oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna make fun of people. But maybe it catches on. It catches on real fast. Like, we were at a bar. I posted the clip of her, the bartender, on X because she had this thing to say. She was like, she had spent time in Kingston, Ontario, and everything was great until people learned that she was from America, and then they would treat her terribly. And then it would get worse when they found out she was from Texas. And that sucks. That really sucks. But at the same time, because I think this is a thing in our culture. I think we could break it. Now is the time to do it because it's come to the forefront. It's always kind of been under the table. It's been under the table. It's been under the radar that Canadians have this bent up hostility towards Americans. I think now is the time to break it, because when things come to the forefront, then that's the time you can confront it, because now it is really the time where it needs to be confronted. Because I think it's something that's been brewing under the surface for decades. And now that politicians are using it for their political advantage, and it's cynical, we can use this opportunity to show just how awful that behavior is and how much we can come out of this one with some of the best friends in the world that we could ever make. Really, Clyde, you are a northern gentleman. Thank you. I appreciate that. Calling out liars. I can't wait. Waiting. I love the USA. Right? No, this is it. Like we there's no reason why we shouldn't be the best of friends. There is no reason. And all of this stuff really comes down to the behavior of the political class in our country. They're the ones drumming this up. They're the ones causing us more trouble. And I got proof. I got proof. Where were we? We're talking about barbecue. Got all these things going on. My mind's kind of, and I got a bit of jet lag, and I'm all over the place. So apologies ahead of time for everybody. But I promise you, I'll make this good. I'll make this a lot of fun. We're gonna have a good old time here. Clyde, I think people are like that because they're jealous. My coworker, I'm unsubscribed from you because of jealousy of you moving to Texas. Now that's unfortunate because I want to take you guys all on the ride for this. Like a lot is about to happen in the next several months. It's going to be a hell of a ride. Holy cow. It's going to be a hell of a ride. Absolutely. But I am going to make it worth your while. Believe me. And one of the things that I really, really want to nail, and this is the big part, and this is where you guys can help. Absolutely. The idea is share the crap out of this stuff. Share the crap out of it. Because what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to put together is that I want to tell the American audience, I want to get this out to a big, broader American audience, what we've been talking about for going on 3 years now. What's been happening in Canada? What's been going on here? Because if anything we've noticed over the past few months, when do you think real change happens? When the pressure gets high. When the pressure gets high. And when if the Americans are starting to pay attention to what's happening in Canada, we can put the pressure on. This is how it's been working. Murray Smith with a $5 super chat. We're going to Vegas in May. Service in US is way better than Canada. I can attest to this. I can definitely, I'll second that one. Definitely be seconding that one. And here's the reason why. So I was getting into it. I was getting into the whole concept of what do you do when you have a hard time hiring people? Do you offer better money for the job? Do you offer them better benefits for the job that they can do? Do you maybe try to entice people in with a better work environment? Perhaps that's the thing. And there's no better way of looking at this than through the eyes of corporate BS. Because here's the thing. You're going to have corporate BS in Canada. You're going to have corporate BS in America. But if it's not working, then even the corporate types will change the business model. They'll change the way they operate. Because at the end of the day, they want to make money. They want to make money, but if they have an out, it's the path of least resistance, right, folks? This is how it works. Trish Brew with a $2.79 super chat says, it will be fun living vicariously in Texas with you. I think so. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. And maybe some of you don't know this, but I am a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to barbecue. I like barbecuing at home. I do a lot of it. I even built my own custom barbecue. Lots of good stuff has come out of that thing. I got to ditch it because rusty, and I'm going to leave it behind in Canada, but I am definitely moving towards purchasing something new when I get to Texas. So you guys are coming along for the ride. So definitely look forward to that. But we're going to have lots of good conversations as well. This is a big old thing. What do we got going on here? Mark, Klaus, Carney, you have been measured and weighed. You have been found to be compromised. You are unfit for Canada. Several times in the chat. Well, thank you for your enthusiasm. I really appreciate that. Franklin Barbecue, Austin, Texas. Went there. 3 hours in line for that brisket. Best brisket I have ever tasted in my entire life. Not gonna lie. It was so good. It was so good. It was expensive and it was a big long wait, but it was worth it. 3 hours in line. And let me tell you, the beans were so good as well. Slaw, all of it was fantastic. Brisket only from Guy with Smoker. Yeah. No, that's how I do it. I'm when I barbecue, I have like a real specialty with chicken. I make the meanest chicken. But that's the thing. You're better than nothing, bro. Don't care what anyone says about you. Thank you, Captain Kangaroo. Appreciate it. Bringing that doozy of a compliment back into the chat. Better than nothing, man. I'm better than nothing. Thank you so much. That one cracks me up every time. Bro, the West smokes good brisket in Jen. W2F, do you think Carney is about? We're going to get into that, but let's get back to the story. So, story is, if you have an out, path of least resistance for a lot of these entry-level positions. In Canada, what is the path of least resistance? They lobbied the government. The government is happy to do it. Open up immigration and ship in people from the third world, from all over the place to fill these positions, and then subsidize their wages up to $3 an hour, something like that. And that's it. Then there's no hunger for Canadians, young teenagers who are only available, unfortunately, to work, maybe in the evenings, weekends, that kind of thing. There's no appetite for it. There's no appetite because they could get cheaper labor. And even the UN has made a study on this and said, Canada, what are you doing? What you have is indentured servitude. You're running actual slave labor circuits in your own country, all surrounding the labor market in entry-level positions in service. It's unbelievable. Now contrast this. I go to Texas and I'm like, all right, everybody told me get a Whataburger. Everyone told me get an In-N-Out. Get yourself a Chick-fil-A. It'll be great. Have yourself some sweet tea. Have a lemonade. Just have this stuff. So they say, come on down, try it. And I get there, and who's working? It feels like I'm back in the 1990s again. I'm like, whoa, look at all these young people that are working at these places. What is a Whataburger? It's called Whataburger. So it's like, what a burger, one word, Whataburger. Sweet tea's the devil's urine. It's good. It's good. It's a bit sweet for me. I like it half and half with unsweet tea. But that's the thing. Mexicans always work in the fields here in Quebecistan. So that's an interesting thing. So here in British Columbia, we get the same thing. We get Mexicans that come up to work in... They'll work in the fruit fields. They'll work picking fruits, picking apples, picking blueberries, strawberries, you name it. They come out and they'll work those jobs. And it is the quintessential reason why we have a temporary foreign worker system at all. Is because, for the most part, they cannot fill that labor. It doesn't matter how much they pay. They cannot fill the labor. It's a short window to pick that stuff or it rots. So they're able to bring in people from Mexico that are happy to come in, work for a short period of time, and then they're like, sir, it's getting cold. I don't want to be here. And then they go. And that's it. Thank you for the money. And that's it. And they go back. And that's been a sweet deal. That's really worked out for us. It's really worked out for us. But this scheme that's been going on over the past decade to bring tons of people in on this LMIA, temporary foreign worker stuff, on the promise that they're going to get, in the future, they'll get permanent residence. Even though it's right in there, it says temporary foreign worker. Now, the thing is, I feel bad for those people because they're sold a dream that doesn't exist. And then all the young people never get work experience. And so their lives are being put on hold for the sake of a bunch of people who are, government officials are probably getting payola, they're getting kickbacks, and these fast food places that are just happy to just get cheap labor. That's it. And it really is detrimental to everyone involved. Believe me, these people, if they knew what the deal was, they wouldn't have come over. You know, 5 to a room, dormitories, houses turned into dorms so that they can go and get your double wrong. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So anyway, contrast this. I get down there, again, young people. And then we're at the In-N-Out, and I saw this sign. It said, join the team. $18 an hour to start. $22.50 after something or another. And so we asked this young lady, she must have been in her early 20s. We said, hey, we saw the sign. People start here at $18 an hour. Mind you, minimum wage there is like $5.15. So it's not minimum wage laws that are driving the prices up. That's not a thing. So what's it got to be? It's got to be the fact that they don't allow for all these shenanigans with immigration. They're not allowing for that. So you have all these young people who are working there, and then we asked, like, how do you like it? How do you like working here? She said, it's great. I love it. The people are nice. It's a great opportunity. I get to earn more if I learn some new skills. They'll pay me more. I said, how long does it take to get to the $22.50? Oh, maybe not that long, actually. Some of these other people that I've only been here like 3 months. These other people, they're already almost there. They've been here like a year. I think minimum wage in Manitoba is $15 an hour. That's the thing. Who cares what the minimum wage is if the market isn't paying that, right? If the market's paying way more, who cares what the minimum wage is? It really doesn't matter at all. I went to school in the U.S. for 5 years, married my American landed immigrant. Came back, raised 3 dualies. Now 9 grandkids. My wife has experienced 45 years of Canuck snobbery. Do tell, GS. Do tell. What's the kind of snobbery that you experienced? Yeah, snobbery. That's got to stop. That's got to end. What are the prices like in the fast food places? So cheap. So everything was so cheap. It's not like they made the prices crazy just to keep people there and paying them a good wage. It was cheaper. So I thought it was amazing. And I went to all like the staples, like those. I even went to a Waffle House. I thought a Waffle House was just like the name of a kind of restaurant. Let's go to the pub. Now Waffle House is apparently like a chain. So that's one of those things. Yeah, McWages, but they're really good. And so this is what led to me taking this picture. So I took this picture, and it might be kind of small for you guys to read. Boom. So this is Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's, if you don't know what it is this gas station franchise. And they're on the side of the highways on the interstate. And you go to a Buc-ee's, and I swear, like, you think gas station, you're like, oh, I have like 10 pumps. It's a big one? No, I have 20 pumps. This place, I have like 150 pumps on the side of the road. It's unbelievable. You got to see it, right? You got to experience it. It's crazy. And then there's basically like a Walmart attached to it. It's not quite as big as a Walmart, but it's a big place. And they have all kinds of staff, and they have all kinds of things going on. It's a rest stop, so big washrooms. You can get food there, and it's all like they do their own barbecue, like real legit barbecue. It may not be like Franklin's in Austin, but it's good barbecue. And they do barbecue sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, all that stuff. And you can pick up merchandise, all this kind of thing. Now they're hiring, and get this, like, look at this. And we're talking American dollars here. Buc-ee's is awesome. I was impressed. I was like, I almost didn't even get into the place because I saw all the stuff that they had outside. And was like, whoa, this place is cool. So hiring for the position of cashier, gift, cleaning, janitorial, warehouse, and grocery stocker. This is your bare bones position. Maybe need like a couple of days, maybe a week worth of training. Starts you at $18 an hour. Clyde's got barbecue fever. If you'll have to believe me, I've had barbecue fever for the last more than a decade. I'm obsessed with barbecue. It's a big thing in my life. It's a big thing. So look at this. So this is the thing. Paid weekly, it says right here. Restroom crew. You don't know how to do anything and you just want to get working tomorrow. It says right here, no experience necessary. You can work with the restroom crew for $20 an hour. That's $20 United States of American dollars. Today's current exchange rate, that's $27 Canadian. $27 Canadian an hour with no experience, right off the road. But taxes, Clyde. Oh boy. And then we'll have to get into that. So of course, Texas has no state tax. You do not pay a state tax on your earnings in Texas. They have a modest sales tax. I believe they have a modest sales tax. There is, of course, the federal tax. You can't avoid that. And depending on what neighborhood you live in, the tax rate on your home is surrounding that. Work under the table. You're better off working over the table. Honestly, you're fine. The taxes they take from you are very low. You're going to be rolling in the dough with so little taxes. That's the thing. But it depends on the neighborhood that you live in, because a lot of like the roadworks and all that stuff is made up for by property taxes. So property taxes. But the best part about that is it decentralizes the whole taxation thing. So the state isn't taking any tax from you. It's the municipalities make their taxes depending on the land taxes. That's how it works. That's why I'm not in the trades no more. Barely worth the responsibility to build things for mid-pay. The great state of Texas. Yeah, there you go. But no, it gets better. It gets better. So we're talking entry level. Entry level, $20 an hour. The equivalent of $27 Canadian an hour with a much lower tax rate. Food service and car wash, $21 an hour. Team lead, $20 to $23 an hour. Department manager, $25 to $33 an hour. Assistant food service manager, $33 to $42 an hour. Full time is based on 35 to 50 hours a week. What if you work there for a number of years and you're like, man, I like it here at Buc-ee's. I don't want to get another job. I just want to work my way up and earn a good amount of money being at Buc-ee's because I love it here. I don't know. Whatever. There's a lot of people that they like what they do, but find themselves in a dead end because they're like, there's no room to move up. Well, not here. Assistant general manager, $125,000 plus salary. Gift manager, car wash manager, $125,000 plus. Food service manager, $150,000 to $175,000 plus. General manager, if say you worked your butt off and you became the big shot at Buc-ee's. The big shot at Buc-ee's. You're going to be making $175,000 to $225,000 plus a year working at Buc-ee's. You'll get a 401k, 100% match up to 6%. 3 weeks paid time off. Use it, cash it, roll it, whatever you want. Healthcare, part-time available, plus $2 an hour for overnight. Apply at buckees.com. I could not believe this when I saw this. Go into the trades. The trades pay good. Believe me, the trades pay good there. Probably comes with a fuel card too. Under 80K is tough in Canada. You are not kidding. You are not kidding. I could go work in the aerospace industry there and get $200K easy. Canada, that would be a $50,000 job. Yeah. So this is what I was just, I just really wanted to stress this because people are not seeing the whole picture. What's the picture that people are seeing a lot of? Americans' grind is harder than ours. Believe me, I believe that. Skidmark Carney. Journeyman Electrical was 36 to 38 in Edmonton. Not worth it unless foreman running sites. Not worth it. Not worth the responsibility. 30 to 38. 30 to 38, and you get to keep about 45% of that at the end of the year. Now, this is the thing, and if it sounds like I'm riling you up, it's because I am. I'm riling people up because the only way that this stuff ever stops is when people get riled up. And people are getting riled up right now, but they're getting riled up for the wrong reason. This is what people are getting riled up about. And why are they getting riled up about this? Because a bunch of cynical politicians are blaming the wrong people for what's going on in Canada. That's what's happening. It's not a bunch of people who are just doing their daily thing saying that are burdening the average person in Canada. People in America, they're just working away. Is it Donald Trump for saying, hey, you know what? You guys have had tariffs on us for a real long time. I think we're gonna get rid of those one way or another. And I think if they were gone, you'd actually be better off. And I can't stress this enough. Canadians would be a lot better off if there wasn't a dairy cartel. You'd get better products for cheaper. And yeah, there's a bunch of dairy farmers who go, oh, dang, I'm going to have to figure out something else how to do that. But does everybody have to pay that price? Does everybody have to pay that price? It's ridiculous. Our economy is stagnant because of the amount of taxes that we've put on Canadian citizens. And Carney's not doing any better. It's crazy. The Canadian government has been paying money to have billboards put up in America, saying that Donald Trump's tariffs are a tax on American citizens. And at the same time, he's got a carbon tax on Canadian businesses. Oh, but Clyde, he got rid of the carbon tax on the fuel pump. The consumer carbon tax is gone. Yeah, but the carbon tax on your farmer's diesel, that purple diesel that he buys because it's supposed to be less taxes on the purple diesel to go in his tractor. What about the propane that he's got and the natural gas that he uses to dry grain, keep his cattle warm so they don't die in the middle of the winter because it's kind of a harsher environment to grow cattle, raise cattle, grow food in this country? Let's just burden them further. What? This is the Canadian story. While in the United States, people are like, holy cow, we got to compete and make a business out of this. They're working their tails off. Farmers doing a great job. And I'm not saying Canadian farmers aren't doing a great job, but it's like working on a handicap. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's already harder to do the job because of our winters, because of the climate, because of everything that just is Canada. And then they come in and there's like, well, just skim off the top there. It's for a good reason. It's for a good reason. We're gonna We're going to fix the climate. What? You going to do what? Well, we make a lot of carbon dioxide, and we're going to stop. so that the weather will change in the future. Right. So everybody around the world's going to do that too, because we're like 2% of like all of it. And everybody else is on board. Yeah, nobody else is on board with this. Nobody else is on board. Nobody else is going to do it. But we're going to do it. What? It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, I did hear some good things recently. I did hear some good things recently because, you know, we've got Pierre Poilievre. He's come into the light, and he's like, politically, he can't say that we're just going to ignore the climate change stuff, because that's like I don't know. It's a nail in the coffin, because you've got CBC, CTV, Global News. All of them are going to be like, no, he's a climate denier, all this stuff. So what does he got? He came up with a pretty clever one. By saying that we need to stop industry from going over to China because they're big polluters. When the industry is over here, we're clean. We're clean about it. We've got standards. We know we know what we've got, and we don't want to make it dirty. We don't want to make it messy. So we'll do that business. Instead of China doing the plastics, we'll do the plastics. Instead of China making aluminum, we'll make aluminum, because when we do it better. Absolutely politically correct way of getting around that story. Don't get me wrong. That's a thing, but that's where he is. What's the response to it? I shop at Canadian Tire. What? Oh, this one confused. So this confused me so much. Yeah, Mike Myers coming out in support of Mark Carney. This is a big thing. And his way of showing that is he buys Cambodian products. He buys products that are largely not made in Canada from a corporation that is that even owned by Canadians anymore? Somebody seriously look this up. I want to find this out, because I need to know this. Hold on a second. Ara, is Canadian Tire owned by Canadians?
Yup. Canadian Tire is a Canadian company, founded in Toronto back in 1922. It's publicly traded, with most of its shares held by Canadian investors and institutions.
Interesting. Okay, so it is a Canadian company. It's not like, for example, Kicking Horse Coffee, because Kicking Horse Coffee recently, they had their big, what was it? Kicking Horse Coffee. We don't call it Americano anymore. We call it Canadiano. What? Turns out that company has not been Canadian for a long time. They've been a global company for longer than they've been a Canadian company. They sold out very, very early in the game. I think only like 4 or 6 years after they started making coffee. Sold it to a New Jersey-based company. Then that company was sold off to a Italian-based global coffee consortium kind of company. And now they're head of operations out of Italy, out of some, big office building way up in the sky. Heard about what the Canadian politicians are all running on about when it comes to Team Canada, and they're like, hey, let's do this thing. We'll call it Canadiano. And they'll fall for it because they're a bunch of dummies. That's what they think. We're going to make a bunch of money because a bunch of dummies are going to be wrapping themselves in a flag and taking on to that sentiment and buying our third-rate coffee. It's a thing. It's a thing. By the way, we do make coffee. Full disclosure. But we're sold out at the moment. I hate to say it, but Clyde Do Something, the Clyde Brew Something lineup of coffee right now is sold out. So we are working our tails off to get back into the production, put more effort into this, get that coffee out there for you guys. As soon as it's made available, we'll let you know. Absolutely. But this is a small batch kind of roasting thing. This is what we've been doing for a bit of time now. And it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. I've got a little bit of a stockpile for myself in this sold out moment. But get yourself over there. We still have mugs available and t-shirts. So link is always in the description down below, of course. But where was I going to go with this? Because, man, there's so much happening right now in Canada. This election is going on, and it's really boiling my blood. Like, I'm not kidding. I don't feel much genuine anything going on. No kidding. And I see the support for Pierre. You know, I see what he's doing at these rallies, and I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome. Absolutely think that's awesome. But I also see a lot of fakeness going on that side, but mainly the Liberals. NDP, I don't even think that crosses my mind anymore because of what's been going on with them. It feels surreal. Like, we've been waiting for all these years for this to happen, and what's actually happening? Now, Carney's just suspended his campaign. He's pausing his campaign. Snap out of it, Clyde. Snap out of it. Well, let me quantify what I'm talking about. It's hard for me to think that Mark Carney is even taking this election seriously, which makes me worry. It makes me worry because, you know, the apparatus is working so hard to get him elected, and it's like he's almost sabotaging himself every step along the way. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Like, that worries me. But what's happening, so there's this whole thing between the United States and Canada right now. Let me pop this up on the screen. Clyde, I remember way back when the parties, sorry, this is scrolling too fast, but way back when the parties I voted on were based on policy. Now, I can't even fathom voting anything but conservative. And that's a fair point. That's a fair point. And I know a lot of people are going to be voting conservative, and I think that's fantastic. I've been advocating for the conservatives for some time. Now, mind you, it's up to you who you vote for. It really is. I don't want to be one of those people. Trish Prue for 279. Pierre was on a podcast yesterday. Gonna get into that in just a moment. And this is where a bit of my cynicism is coming. Gonna come in. Maybe people, I don't know. We'll see how people react to that, because we'll get into it. So Kirk Lubermoff putting this out on X, saying Donald Trump has announced a 90-day pause on tariffs to negotiate with the countries who reached out, except the countries that retaliated against the United States with tariffs. Who are these countries? Well, China and Canada. As of right now, tariffs are in place on Canada, and both the Liberals and CPC supported this. Canada is run by idiots. I cannot disagree with this sentiment. So Donald Trump put this out on Truth Social, and it got reposted all over X and all over the internet. Based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I'm hereby raising the tariff charged to China by the United States of America to 125%, effective immediately. At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, trade tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs. And these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, related in any way, shape, or form against the United States, have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%. Also effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So anyone who didn't retaliate in any way is gonna get a 90-day reprieve. This is crazy. 40 billion? Where does it trickle down to us? Oh, well, that's another story altogether. This is the meltdown that's been happening in Canada. That's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, we're not walking away from these tariffs because that's happening. Why? Because politicians have found it to be expedient to try to drum up this anti-American sentiment that's been brewing in Canada for decades because of largely Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who tried to redefine the Canadian, what would you call it, identity as not American. Wow, you're clever. Just leave it up to a socialist to be clever on defining terms. Who is Carney's dad? Except Soros? Yeah, apparently a guy who was all about changing the culture of the Indigenous here in Canada. That was who he was. Hey, man, I got 5 kids to feed. Yeah. This is real. This is real. And this is what I'm saying. This is not good. And who do we lay at their feet the blame for all of this? Because, look, there's all these countries here that are not in tariff land, and there are 2 right here that were hot-headed and stubborn. And who were the people that were hot-headed and stubborn? Well, that would be the politicians, because they're in an election cycle and they want to flex their muscles and tell everybody, look how strong we are. You should go and hate the Americans, boo their national anthem, cause a national crisis. That's not good. This, and I've been saying since day one, this is not going to end well if we go down this road. This is not going to end well if we go down this road. And this is Trudeau's legacy. Trudeau's legacy of divide, conquer. And when he ran out of Canadians to divide, he divided us against the Americans. Why? We should not be doing this. And this is why I went down to America to listen to them. What do you guys think? And they're like, I don't know. Why do Canadians hate us? Is it proportional? I wish PP would lay off the Trump rhetoric. I agree. But it just keeps coming down to it. It just keeps coming down to, bloop, we're not America. This is Canada. That's not Canada. Oh, come on. Embarrassing. Now, here's the thing. Like, Pierre's doing really good. And I've been stressing, like, hey, Pierre, can you go on to these podcasts? And it doesn't have to be my podcast. I'd love to have Pierre on for chat. I know Marty would love to chat with Pierre. That would be great. There's a lot of other people that would love to chat with Pierre. Get the word out. I suggested it should be going on shows where there's largely young Canadian audience. That would be great. I really, really think so. So I guess he heeded the word. Get on podcasts, smaller podcasts. And he did. So here he is on Camila Gonzalez podcast. I guess I could play a little clip from it.
And but we've been very blessed.
There's the benefit.
There are big benefits to that.
And so we're going to get into, of course, your vision for Canada, the future, a few of the policies that you've proposed. But I want to get to know a little bit more about that core family that we've spoken about. Can we go back to when you were young in Alberta, adopted by 2 school teachers? Talk to us about what it was like just growing up.
So
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into it.
A 16-year-old single mother, and she had just lost her mother to a heart attack. Her mother was, I think, in her 40s. So she had wanted to keep us, but keep me, and then
you guys are amazing,
so
amazing. You immediately start getting into it. You
couple of years
immediately.
Later with my brother, and then
I guess, am I rubbing off on you guys, or like, is this just a mutual thing? Probably just a mutual thing. A lot of people going, right, sweet. You went on a podcast of the who's that? Who is that? So let's find out. Who is that? So, Camila Gonzalez, someone who just had a sit down, a very produced sit down with Pierre Poilievre and Anita Poilievre. Here you go. Bet you she's got a huge background, a huge lineup of stuff on the what? It's the only video on the YouTube channel? What? There's some shorts of that interview as well on the YouTube channel. 4 shorts from that. The only thing that's ever been done on this YouTube channel is that. What is going on here? What is going on here? Okay. So maybe you're following somewhere else, just wanted to do the YouTube channel. All right, there she is on Instagram. She's got 18,000 followers over on Instagram. Lovely looking lady. Very professional looking. Whoa, she's in all these things. There she is talking at places. Here she is at TSN. Okay, so she's the host of MLS on TSN Official. Sports Entertainment. But what does she do? What does she do? There she is with Justin Trudeau. What? This confused the heck out of me. It just confused the absolute heck out of me. So the response to Pierre, you need to get on podcasts, is what? So Wikipedia. Camila Gonzalez, and I'm not trying to rip on her any which way, but this is just weird. This is like, tell me if I'm wrong in this, that this seems weird. Why does this seem weird to me? What is the deal? So Camila Gonzalez, born 1997, is a Canadian TV host, producer, and pageant title holder who was crowned Miss International Canada in 2018 and represented her country at Miss International 2018, known for hosting the Serie E halftime show on TLN. Sorry, not TSN? Is that like the Canadian version of TSN? And has an entertainment and community news reporter on Univision Canada. And Univision is a Canadian Spanish language specialty channel owned by TLN Media Group in partnership with Why is this so weird and unorganic feeling? Check Pierre's French debate. Check the dude's channel. It's weird. Maybe she's a friend of Anna. I'm sorry to say this. I hate doing this. But this doesn't look good. This is not a good look. When people are saying get out there and look organic and authentic, and you make a YouTube channel just for this one interview, that is unorganic and unauthentic looking in my humble estimate, tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong. The worst part about this is I don't want to be reporting that this looks bad, that this is unauthentic looking. I don't want to be reporting this stuff. But when I see it, I'm not going to sit on it and say like, gotta take one for the team and shut my mouth. Like that's just where I'm at. Go to the pleb, be cheered up. Pleb's doing great. Pleb's doing a fantastic job. From what I see, as I've been gone, that he's been following the tour and he's been doing all the live streams for all these big rallies. But I don't get this stuff. I don't get this stuff. When people are crying for organic, authentic, and you see manufactured and plastic, I gotta say, man, it rubs me the wrong way. It absolutely does. I'm sorry. I'm getting I'm right, I'm wrong in the chat. It is what it is. Again, I'm going from my gut feel on this one. That just feels weird. Feels really weird. And I'm sure she's a lovely lady. Don't get me wrong on that. Weird. Mr. Roscoe Pico for 10 says, I need a green card. I gotta get down there. This Canada is delusional. I really appreciate that. Pierre likes the pleb, but will Pierre sit down and talk with the pleb? Will Pierre sit down and talk with the pleb? I mean, that's the thing. Like, pleb's cool. He's doing his thing. I get it. But that's not what people want. A little bit more. But I mean, it's a completely missed opportunity, in my estimate. Jordan Cundy with a $2 super chat says, I'm a GM in industrial sales. I will apply for a visa. I wasn't trying to tell people to move. That wasn't my goal here. My goal here is to try to change what's happening in Canada so that it reverses course. And it's going to be a hard pull away from the way things have been going, but I think Canada can pull it off. PP stunt. Feels like a stunt to me. Pleb would be a lame interview. Try. Give it a shot. Jasmine Lane makes way more sense. I don't get this. Yeah, if he went on Jasmine's show, absolutely. I think that would be fantastic. Not like a $5.3 billion tax fraud. What? I'm not sure what that... I think Pierre should be on Redacted. There's a lot of people that would like that. Of course, the connotation would be negative. You know, even Pierre showing up on my show, negative connotation. I've said openly, publicly, that I'll buy American just to thwart this stupid America First crap. So that's the thing. I know David Eby tried to use that as bait against one of the conservative MLAs. It didn't work, but whatever. This is the politics game. It's cynical. It's dirty. PP and Clyde do something, and Marty up north interview. Let's bring it home. I'd like to see that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that like to see that. Jordan Cundy with a $2 says, this country is cooked. I'm tired, boss. I feel you. Rage with a $2 super chat. Everyone is watching. Pleb is already voting conservative. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. So what I'm going to try to do in the next week or so is one thing I was considering. I want to get everyone from my riding to come on my show. Everyone that's running in my riding. I'm going to try to get some contacts going to make that happen, because I know some people that are really good at getting in touch with people. If I can get as many of the people that are running in my riding to come on the show to have a chat, I would be satisfied. I'm guessing I'm going to get people telling me no. But it's a go. It's a go. That's those are my thoughts on that. But this it's all about the winning strategy. We got to get that winning strategy. Get that thing happening, right? And here we are. What is this? This is Brian Lilly. I like Brian Lilly. I don't always agree with Brian Lilly, but I like him. Clyde, do you ride horses? No. I'd give it a go, but I've never. Did you see Harper endorse Pierre? I did. It was great. It was really good. I thought that was fantastic. And again, those moments are fantastic, but like, who's watching it? People who are already voting for the Conservatives. If you want to win, get yourself in front of eyeballs. And that's, again, my channel isn't always going to be the best pick for that. It'll be supplemental if you want to, if somebody discovers who he is and wants to have a real discussion, because I'll have a real discussion. None of the slogan stuff. Granite Man for 2. Carney is so full of stuff. Media is his toilet. Oh yeah, it's gross. It's gross. So Brian Lilly, guy who I don't always agree with, but I like him. I respect him. Says Corey Tanaki, who knows about winning Conservative campaigns, has said that Pierre and his team have committed campaign malpractice and should be all in campaigning against Trump to win. What? Pierre was asked about this morning and said no. What do you think? And let's hear what he had to say.
Thank you.
Hi there, Marina von Stackelberg with CBC News. Stephen Harper's former director of communications says, quote, blowing a 25-point lead and being 10 points down is campaign malpractice at the highest level. Is it campaign malpractice?
No, I answered that question 2 weeks ago. Liberals and lobbyists want me to stop talking about high food prices. Well, I'm not going to do that, because single mothers shouldn't be going to bed hungry, worried about how they're going to feed their kids in the morning. They want me to stop talking about the doubling housing costs during the lost Liberal decade. I'm not going to stop talking about that. They want me to stop talking about the rampaging crime that's overtaking our streets and the overdose crisis Liberals caused that has taken the lives of 50,000 people. I will not stop talking about that either.
Molson Canadian beer is number 1. What's your fave? Not Molson Canadian. Oh no, not number 1 in my books. Yeah, not even number 5, not even number 10. But they got that branding. They got that branding, and they're right in there. Lucky Lager. You're an island boy, Alex, aren't you?
After the lost Liberal decade of rising costs and crime and a falling economy under America's thumb, we can't afford a 4th Liberal term. We need a change with a new Conservative government that will axe taxes, build homes, unleash our resources, lock up criminals, and bring home a safe, affordable country for our people.
But even more than you're willing to do. I agree. I think his again, when it comes down to the ideas and things he's saying, let's hope he keeps all those promises. JJ Clem for 10 says Clyde for Prime Minister with a lot of laughing emojis. I'm feeling the same way. Laughing emojis. Yeah, no, I don't want to be Prime Minister of Canada. Forget that. No way, Jose. IPA is great. IPA is one of those things where I'm like, maybe 1. Yeah, like just that strong taste. I'm like, ugh. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gross or anything like that, but if I'm having a couple of beers, maybe 1 will be an IPA, and then it's like, all right, let's get on just your regular old lager. I'm happy with that. Maybe a Pilsner. IPA is like a whole meal. You're not kidding. Clyde would be a great PM. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I'd be a disruptive PM. That's for sure. Oh, oh, there's so much to get into here. I don't even know which ones to address. Let's just pop open some of these tabs. It's unbelievable what I've been seeing over the past couple of days. My favorite is Mickey's. I like Mickey's with the big wide top on it. Those we used to get those in Whistler because you go cruising around on your bike and have a Mickey's, which you weren't supposed to be doing, whatever. But it had a screw top, so you could put it back on. And yeah, we just take those with us. Those were great, so you didn't have to like stop or spill. That's alcohol abuse right there. Severing Hams. What a name. Severing Hams for $5. I would have thought you'd like Molson. I find it quite good. What's your top 3 beers? Holy cow. What are my top 3 beers? I'll often buy what's cheap. To not kidding. Which is like nothing in Canada. Top 3 beers. You know what? I really liked Native Texan. That was a thing I was drinking this past week. It's a Pilsner from a company called Independence Brewing, right out of Texas. And it's the Texas flag and just says Native Texan. It's pretty good. Top beers. For generic beers, like that are just generic, like mass-produced beers, I've always found, what is it? Alexander Keith's is like a easy drinking one, that kind of thing. I'll often buy, what is it out here? It's, I got some in the fridge. That's not what I'm drinking right now, but it's got a cross, and it's, somebody in BC, tell me, because I'd have to see it right now. I'm just picturing it in my head. It's craft lager. It's just called craft lager. That's what it is. Craft lager from British Columbia. It's usually like pretty reasonably priced, and it's good. Joe Bobby Cat. We drank a few Guinness. Guinness is fantastic. I mean, if I had the budget for Guinness, yeah, I could do Guinness. I usually like, if I'm gonna drink Guinness, it's usually on Paddy's Day or something like that. You know, for a beer kit, you can make 62 beers for $30, no GST, no deposit, and take up an entire room in your house. And yeah. I've had a lot of friends that tried the stuff. Parallel 49 Craft Lager, that is the one. That is the one. Thank you, Brandy. Appreciate that. That's one I drink often. Netanyahu ripped Carney a new one today. I'll have to see that. There's a lot of people that cover the Israel-Palestine thing way more closely than I do, so I don't really have much to say about what's going on over there. Did you buy a cowboy hat? No, I have a couple of cowboy hats. I've had them for a long time. I didn't bring them with me though, but I'll always have them. $5.16 for a Stella tall can here, right? Yeah, Stella's not bad. I like that. Definitely like Japanese beer. Asahi Super Dry is like my go-to. So put that on the top of the list right there. Asahi Super Dry. I like Sapporo. Kirin in Japan, they have this one. It's called Kirin Heartland, and they call it Heartland because they make it based on the brewing laws in Germany, which is the heartland of beer. That's their thing. That. Anyway. Sidetracked. Ryan Garrettson posts this out there because Andrew Coyne has been on the losing battle of the horrible disease Trump derangement syndrome for some time. But sometimes he nails it. Sometimes he says things just the way it is or gets close anyway. Lamestream like mainstream. Clyde is the new CBC. What? Am I like horrible like the CBC? I can't stand Andrew Coyne. He's a lunatic. He is a lunatic. But here's Ryan Garrettson pointing out that Andrew's so close to figuring out that Carney isn't fixing the tariff situation on purpose. Canadians suffer for Carney's gain. Here's the situation.
Passing up on this. they're also passing up on the opportunity that so-called earned media reporting affords. Look at what Mark Carney's doing. Now, he has the advantage of being the prime minister at a time of crisis. But my God, is he milking it? You know, he goes out and he does these press conferences and he puts on this very somber face and he announces to the country what's just happened to us. And, you know, I think he gains every time he does that, even though he's not doing it through a YouTube video. You know, he's actually using the media. Well, it turns out that actually helps.
Okay, we got to leave this part.
Yeah, his campaign is helped by the problem that he's causing. Wow. Andrew Coyne, you're finally seeing the light. Holy cow. That's where it is. Do you want me to answer whether you're CBC now? Yeah. Am I as bad as CBC now? Or am I the new mainstream? Jordan Cundy with a 2 says, you going to do a pub meetup in the Fraser Valley? Dunno. There's this thing brewing right now amongst a bunch of creators, a bunch of, what do you want to call us? Influencers, people on the online space. There's a big thing brewing right now for everyone to go to Ottawa in like the last week of the election and do door knocking. Maybe I might be in on that. So if we go to Ottawa, I got a bottle of whiskey that I owe to Marty, and we're gonna hit up a pub. We hit up a pub and do the thing that we do, which is bring people together. Because that at the end of the day, this is what I love to do. It's a great idea to door knock. Yeah, am I the best door knocker though? I mean, hey, check out Pierre on this totally inorganic thing. You get all the information you need to know about him. I mean, I can't say like, hey, tune into my channel where I had a conversation with him. Oh man, I wish I'm the worst liar is the problem, right? You can just hand out cards. I could just hand out cards. Keep my mouth shut. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not campaigning against Pierre, obviously, no. But it would be fun to campaign for the lady that's running in Mark Carney's riding, because that would be funny. I just think it's hilarious. Nice knockers, Clyde. Yeah. Save that energy for abs separation door knock. Oh, Alberta separation. Yeah. Woof. That's going to be a thing. Because, well, at the end of the day, that I mean, if you go door knocking in Ontario, and especially in Ottawa, that is a big campaign. You say, hi, would you like to learn about how to keep Canada together? Because if Mark Carney is elected, Canada is no longer going to be Canada geographically. There is a movement happening and separation is almost certain. Someone dig up Margaret Thatcher, let her run. I like that. Joe Bobby Cat. Still need to do the Lower Mainland. Oh yeah, absolutely. And beyond. And beyond. We need to do all of these things. But this is during this election. I don't know what the trip's gonna be. I just got back from Texas, so and Marty flew out for that. We'll see which we end up doing first. But you know, we already did Squamish, we've done Calgary, and people will get mad at us if we just go right back to like the local area here right away. A beer that doesn't look what? Sorry, what was that? Beer that doesn't label its ingredients isn't beer. It's called the German purity law. Unlabeled beer is made with rice and wine and junk water. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, the Cure in Heartland was really good. It was really good. The West has had enough of the Liberals. That's true. That's true. And I'm not buying the naysayers. If Carney gets elected, I think that Alberta will be gone. We'll leave. And if Alberta leaves, then they'll probably take Saskatchewan with it. Not as its main intention or main goal, but I think that that's going to be the inevitability of it. Hi, Chris. Mexico makes great beer. Yeah, I drank a bunch of Dos Equis when I was down in Texas. I'm not gonna lie, I've never had a Dos Equis. I didn't know anything about it, but it's a nice light beer. It's good. So the guy's older bro was a who's older bro? Separate country, not U.S. or a separate country. So well, that's the thing. So if Alberta leaves Canada, it's not like Alberta's gonna become the 51st state. It's gonna be the decision to leave Confederation, just become its own separate country. That's it. Now what happens after that? I don't know. But even just at that, it's a way better deal. It's a way better deal immediately. Because here's the thing. Alberta can start using American currency right away. If Alberta starts using the American dollar right away, benefit, because you don't have to worry about the manipulation and all of that of the currency. Losing money just on the exchange with such massive trade. Like all the trade. Like there's very little Alberta product that's going east or west. It's mainly going south. And the stuff that they're getting is mainly coming north, except the stuff that they're restricted by the federal government on what they can purchase from people, like dairy. Stupid. Alberta would be happy to sell our oil to the rest of Canada. Yeah. Without being taken for getting hosed. Getting totally hosed with the transfer payments. Imagine just not having transfer payments anymore. JJ Clem, $5 says, my carbon tax rebate dropped by $300 and I only saved $10 in gas. Must be an election on the horizon. Yeah. What do you mean if he gets elected? If he gets elected, we all better stand up and effing do something. Yeah. Let's hope that's what people do. Because that's, wow, holy cow. We're in a hot mess. We're in a hot mess. And let's just look at some of the hot mess that we're in. It's crazy. Andrew Scheer did a video about this just, I want to say today. Was it yesterday? Let's have a look at this.
Are you thinking of voting Liberal because you've heard impressive things about Mark Carney's resume?
You were the vice chairman at Brookfield Asset Management prior to
the chair. I was the chair.
Sorry.
Well, first of all, the people that he's actually worked with don't have very nice things to say about him. But if you look at what he's actually said, the policies he's committed himself to, you'll see that Mark Carney would be bad for Canada and bad for you personally. And it's going to take me 90 seconds to prove it to you. Let's start with the Liberal lost decade. Canada's economy is weak and vulnerable to the U.S. because of Liberal decisions that chased away billions of dollars in investments.
And it is a lost decade. Let's be serious about this, like just for a second. It is a lost decade. Where Trudeau brought us, he brought us back a decade. So now we're starting from a behind situation. So either we work double hard and get it back in 10 years, or we're looking at like 20 years out, just catching up with where the rest of the world is. It really needs to be said. It really needs to be said. Trudeau really hosed Canada. Really did. And a lot of things fundamentally need to change to get us out of it. So, whoa. That just needs to be emphasized there. But yeah, if we get a Carney, it's just going to go further into the hole.
Mark Carney and Justin Trudeau canceled major pipeline projects like Northern Gateway and Energy East. We have no way to get Western Canadian energy into Eastern Canadian markets without going through the United States. And Mark Carney supports this.
Maybe up as much as half of oil reserves, reserves need to stay in the ground if we're going to get to where we are.
This is bad news for jobs, bad news for your mutual fund. But it's great news for Donald Trump. He gets the jobs and investments, and Canada gets weaker.
Frankly, probably would do better with the Liberal than the Conservative, if you want to know the truth.
Mark Carney.
That was actually the most tame take that I've heard from the Conservatives on Donald Trump lately. And I want to say thank you, Andrew Scheer, for not going full Trump derangement syndrome on that. Because that Trump derangement syndrome stuff has not been working out very well. So, yeah, big kudos on that one for actually just saying it as it is. Donald Trump is happy with the Liberals doing that because manufacturing is moving to the United States. It's as simple as that. And a lot of the workers in Canada are not doing so hot because of it. Yeah, I wonder if opportunities will open up for them just across the border. We'll see how that goes because they're already trained in these particular fields. That's a loss for Canada too. That is the thing.
He says he's going to keep the industrial carbon tax. That means that steel workers in Canada have to compete against American steel companies that don't have to pay the carbon tax.
Does that not ultimately trickle down? No, because what the big companies are producing, by and large, a steel company. How much steel are you using these days, Todd?
A lot, a lot. We use a lot of steel. It's all over the place. Without it, our lives are crappier. A lot crappier. So, yeah, there's a lot of steel all over the place. It's incredible.
On crime, he also supports the easy bail policies that cause the crime wave that's plaguing Canadian cities. And on housing, Carney is doubling down on the same policies that spend...
What's this, Yard Prep? 500 GM employees laid off. Ignore the 32,000 last month, LOL. Yeah. Yeah, they're reporting on just a small amount that just in the recent times. Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Spent billions, but didn't actually build new homes. Now remember, those are his words. That's what he's actually saying about what he's going to do. Look how quickly we could dispel all the myths about Mark Carney. That took less than 2 minutes. Don't be impressed by a padded resume. Look at what he...
You didn't even get into the Chinese interference stuff. Dude, you could have gone for a lot longer. But I'm just saying.
He's promising to do to our country. We cannot afford another 4-year Liberal term. We need a government that can get big things built again in this country, attract billions of dollars of foreign investment so we can stand up to Donald Trump from a position of strength. On April 28th, vote Conservative. Vote to put Canada first for a change.
Put Canada first for a change. I like that. I like that slogan. What do you guys think for that one? Where was Scheer? Hold on. Where was Scheer during the 2019 election? He could have won. Yeah, but then what did he do? He did what all conservatives do. They listen to their campaign managers, and then they run a conservative campaign the way the conservatives should run a campaign. They take those. They win their the leadership race by promising conservative ideals, and then they shift over to the left when it comes to the general election because they're afraid that the Torontonian leftoids won't vote for them. But the problem is they ignore all the people who were disenfranchised and never voted or stopped voting years ago. Chemical Valley, you can't see the rest of your name, sorry. For 5 says, flags not allowed on balconies. What's up, man? Bring it, made it back to Sarnia. That's crazy. I heard that. Somebody sent me a message today, said that might have been you. Said that landlord said take that flag off the balcony. What? The Canadian flag can't be on the balcony? That's crazy. That was Murr. That was me. That was you. That was you. And you went to the Windsor rally. Yeah, I got your message. Awesome. Like I'm glad to hear people are getting themselves out to these rallies. Show that there is support. Oh, I'm good. Long day, dude. Sorry, I'm just having a laugh at your typos. Typos get me every time. But yeah, made it out to the Windsor rally. Big show. Lots of people turning out to these events. And you know what? Kudos for everyone who's actually rocking up to these things, because despite the Conservatives not trying to reach out to young people, when people do show up to these big rallies, it does send a big signal that, holy cow, there's a lot of support, real, genuine support behind these things. I wish there was a little bit more push to try to get out in front of people who don't know or watch the news or any of these things. Door knocking works in neighborhoods where you get to knock on, doors of houses. How many of these young people own houses? You're not getting into apartment buildings most of the time when you're door knocking, are you? Because that's where a lot of those people you probably want to reach are. They're behind security doors and whatnot. But that's me. I'm arguing about campaign strategies. That's where I'm at. I think we fly our flag every day, Texas. My goodness. I really have to have a moment with you guys about this. So in Canada recently, we got a bunch of national pride. So during the Freedom Convoy, out came genuine national pride. It was a beautiful moment for Canada. I never seen so many Canadian flags and so many people genuinely celebrating real Canadiana, the Canadian nostalgia of what it is to be Canadian, even though our country has gone belly up in a lot of respects. 10 years of Justin Trudeau telling everybody that there's no core identity to be Canadian, but then when he does have a core identity, the only thing about it is not American. Screw that. Canadians really do have a core identity. It's a thing. I can't stress how beautiful that was. This new wrap yourself in the flag, team elbows up crap. It's got nothing on it. What happened during the Freedom Convoy was like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. Privileged to have lived during the time that it occurred, met so many people from that movement. A lot of them have become lifelong friends of mine. It's fantastic. But if you go to Texas, it's like that every single day of the week. Every day. The amount of national pride, the amount of state pride that you just see everywhere is just humbling. It's absolutely humbling. And it just makes me it leaves me wanting that for Canada. I just can't believe it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And holy cow, everyone, and this is the way it is. You go to Texas and it's not like, welcome in, outsider. You know what I mean? It's never that. It's, welcome, y'all. Welcome, y'all. Everyone, every single person I mentioned, excuse me, every single person that I mentioned it to, that my plan was to move there, was welcome. You're gonna love it. Welcome aboard. No animosity. No, Texas is full or something like that. Nothing. Everyone is just so welcoming, and they're like, can't wait until you're a Texan, right? That's the way they look at it. If you come here, it's not like a training period. It's like, you're here, you're one of us, one of us, one of us, right? It's such an awesome thing. It's just such an awesome thing. And oh man, I really want that for Canada. I really, really want that for Canada. And Canada has it in it. It's there. It's there. That because of what I saw. Because of what I saw during the convoy, I knew right away. Every little old lady is so sweet too. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's so nice. I love it. Like I gotta tell you this story. So we went to the gun range. We went to a bunch of gun ranges. Believe me, we went to a bunch. Clyde is 100% right. Texans are not to be messed with. Why do you think we give them a pass when they say they are Texans first? Good point. It's a good point. And they got each other's back. It's always there. Did you watch the man not allowed in Pierre's rally in Edmonton because he was wearing an MCGA hat? I want to know more about that because, so before I put that one on blast, it seems like immediately, you know, the usual people who are like really against Pierre are like, here's an example of Pierre's super bad. I don't know if it was I don't know the situation around it. So I only saw the clip. So I wanted to dig more before I put that on blast or anything like that. I wish it was like that too. Do you think Alberta will be like Texas? I think Alberta would be like Texas. But like little Texas, holy cow. Pleb got the video. I mean, he shot the video. Well, I should talk to Pleb then. I should talk to Pleb about it. Maybe I'll have Pleb on to talk about it. Because I've been talking with Pleb behind the scenes. Because I want to bring him on the show. There's a bunch of people. Mark Nixon definitely was talking with Jasmine and Mr. Sunshine Baby. I think we're gonna do a show real soon. Yeah, Pleb and Clyde. There you go. I'd love to have Pleb on the show. It'd be really cool. He's been doing a lot of good stuff, man. He's like seriously doing lots of legwork, like really getting himself out there. So kudos to him. Kudos to him. But yeah, I'd like to hear more of the story, like, because it just seems really like, you know, immediately all the PPC bros were like, see, look, and I don't know. Usually when a story seems so very one-sided and emotionally driven, that's exactly the moment when I'm like, whoop, hold on, let me take a step back. I'm gonna look at what's going on here, and I'm not gonna jump to a conclusion. Because yeah, that could be that always gets you in trouble. PPC is just to steal votes. Along the way, I totally agree with you, but I do think there are some really good candidates. Like in my riding in particular is Payman. He's really good. He's a really good guy. I agree so much with him. I just I wish he was not with that party. I don't have a lot of good things to say about the party. PPC are just mean now. Yeah, there you go. Canadian politics are wild. Yeah, they are. Whoever thought that this was going to be the case? Canadian politics has always just been this like lame-o, tame-o thing. And it's turned into a blood sport suddenly. It's really something else. And it's unsavory for me. Like, it's totally unsavory for me. I like the gotcha moments and all that stuff. But yeah, I got my reservations about everything. I really do. Alberta is to Canada as Laredo is to Texas, but we're Larsdo of what? We're the Laredo of Canada? I don't get the reference. What was I saying? I was saying I went to a bunch of gun ranges, And I mean, every single buddy in those places was super cool. But there's one one guy in particular at the range at Austin. It was our first time there, and this guy, you know, solid big dude, like soldier looking guy, like not gonna mess with that guy, tatted up, all this. Just most amazing guy. Just the most amazing guy. Went out of his way to help us with everything. Totally cool. Was right there with us the whole, like, most of the time that we were shooting. Of course, we shot full auto, so we had to be there for that. But then just made sure we were all set. Super cool guy. Talked about, like, serving in the military, being a gunner, all the cool stuff that he got to see, you know, the lifestyle he had then and then to now, and just welcome to Texas. Told him that I'd be moving there. He's like, well, can't wait to have you as a Texan, a fellow Texan, all this stuff. I have nothing bad to say about the place. It was just so good. It was just so amazing. What a trip. It was an amazing trip. So yeah, it's one of those. Got to go to the comedy mothership as well, and that's another crazy story that I'll have to tell you guys one night, because that's just that was insane. Being at the flagship premier comedy house in America, or if not the world. Where are the warm and friendly places in Canada these days? They exist, but they're pockets all over the place. Yeah. And where you find them is in rural places. I'll tell you where I'm at is not that. There's a lot of fake nice here. Would you go on Rogan? Would I say no? Yeah, of course I'd go on Rogan. I'm a half hour behind in the screening, Clyde. I think you should invite Pierre for a beer. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Do it again just for you. Wow. I love Red Deer. I've never been to Red Deer. Oh, have I been to Red Deer? No, I haven't been to Red Deer. Rogan should go on Clyde do something. That's funny. That's funny. Join us. Yeah. Michael Myers hates America except living there. So yeah, that's the funny thing about all this sentiment, and like we're getting this from people who have abandoned Canada. Well, I hate to say that. People don't abandon. It's not that they're abandoning Canada. So Mike Myers, obviously, he left for good reason. Like, let's just be honest. He left for good reason. His career is taking off. He got opportunity in the United States. He went to New York. He got a job for Saturday Night Live, killed it with the talent that he is. He's just an amazing talent. He was largely successful there. He took that talent and he put it into the movie business, ended up out in California, as a lot of these people who are successful end up doing. Who cares about Michael Myers? I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what I think. I don't blame anyone for finding success and then going to where all the success is. I don't blame anyone for that. Like that would be like saying, you know, oh, you're good at hockey in the Pee-wees. Don't sell out and go to the, you know, OHL. And then once you're there, what are you going to sell out even more and then get a shot in the NHL? Like, go where the talent goes. Go where the big thing is. That's what I think is a viable thing. It has nothing to do with national pride. It has nothing to do with abandoning this or that. It's taking the talent that you have and then going to the place where that talent is most utilized. Do it. Absolutely do it. And you're not leaving your national pride or any of that stuff behind. Your what you were raised on, all of this. Where I think Michael Myers has gone wrong, and probably a lot of the others that are getting on this bandwagon that have been gone from Canada for so long, is exactly that. They've been gone from Canada for so long. They don't realize that Canada is not the Canada that they remember. It's changed so much in that time, and let's be frank, not for the better. It is not changed for the better, and because of that, they're wanting what they remember to be a thing. If you watch that video of Mike Myers that's riffing with Mark Carney, I almost forgot Mark Carney's name just now because that's how memorable that guy is, right? So he's been gone for so long, but he's living on this nostalgia of what he grew up with that doesn't exist anymore. If he went back to, where's he from? Mississauga, Scarborough, whatever. He'd go back to there, and nothing that he remembers would exist anymore. The corner store that you go to where, you know, old guy Joe or whatever ran the corner store, and he had some like 18-year-old guy would always be like the store clerk in the afternoon, you know. It doesn't exist anymore. Most of those corner stores just are gone, bought out, only corporate stuff now. So it was Scarborough. Like, I don't know for his neighborhood what it was like, but I guarantee if he went back there, he'd just be like, what happened? What happened here? What's going on? He's living on this nostalgia of a place that used to be. And he thinks that because the generic way Canadians have always thought is like, well, the Liberals, they're not bad, eh? You know, the old way of looking at the Liberals was like, well, they're the guys that are gonna kind of let me do what I want to do, and I know they skim off the top a little bit, but at least it's just a little bit, and then that's that. Don't realize that the massive corruption that's happened in Canada. Don't realize that mass immigration has largely changed the demographics of a lot of neighborhoods around the country. Not realizing that now cartels are massively operating within this country. There are over 4,000 individual organizations that operate within the borders of Canada. Over 4,000 individual organizations with their own leadership, membership, thugs, all of this stuff, just to supply a chunk of the world with narcotics, the worst narcotics out there. The government knows about it and it does nothing about it. When a lab gets busted, they arrest the janitor, even though they've got intel on the place and they know that hundreds of people were probably working there, at least dozens. They don't know these people that are looking at the nostalgia of what Canada once was long ago. They don't know that the precursors for these are being allowed to cross into our border from China, come in, and that there are Chinese organizations that are working with these Mexican cartels to run this business, and then they launder that money through our casinos and through our real estate business as Canadians are dying from this stuff. But hey, elbows up, folks. Elbows up, folks, right? Team Canada, we're not American. Wake up. Wake up, Mike Myers. Wake up, all these people that have not been here for a very long time. Remember what you remember from your childhood. You know what? Guess what? We remember what it was like in our childhood too. I started this stream off talking about going into McDonald's after school with $5. That was enough to get a meal and then go to the arcade after and play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter because I was a dork with my dork friends. But we loved it. We would be at the McDonald's and We would get table service. There would be so many of us, and they would come out with pitchers of Coke to give us refills. And who are the people giving us the pitchers, the refills? They were fellow classmates. They were other people that went to school with us, and that was their evening job. It was a different time. It was a different place. It was beautiful. But it's not Canada anymore. And it's not Canada anymore because of who has been running Canada. That's got to change. That's got to change. Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter were the best games. True statement of the night. Truest statement of the night. But I want to leave it on that, because here's the thing. That is the Canada that we grew up with. And that's a Canada that we can get back to. We can get back to that. But it's going to take a lot of hard work, because so many people have been asleep for so long, because it was good. It was good then, and we didn't have to worry about it. Who cares? Who cares who runs the government? Who cares what's going on? Why do I need to worry about it? Everything's good. It's great. Yeah, I paid a lot of taxes. Yeah, it sucks. Sometimes the lineup at the hospital is real bad, like long, but everybody gets served and everything's good. Well, it got worse and it got worse and it got worse and it got worse. It's like something out of a Ayn Rand novel, right? But this is where we can get it back to. It means that it's within our sights. It is within our sights. And yeah, there could be hard times. There could be hard times, and you might have to suck it up, because it'll take that. There could be a lot of government employees that don't need to be employed anymore. They'll have to go out and find other work. But that work is out there. It's available to you. You got to get clever. This is the thing, Soylent Green. Yes, I want my great-grandparents Canada back. That's it. I still don't think enough have suffered to want change. Argentina had triple-digit inflation, 44%, and still voted socialism when Milei won. Yep. Well, I think this is the best one. I picked up this patch when I was in Texas. Y'all are gonna love this. Y'all will love this. This one, just gotta put this one out there. Smokey the Bear says only you can stop socialism. Get it, folks. Get it. You gotta work for it to get it. You gotta do something. Get yourself out there. Put yourself in it. Talk to people. Talk to your friends. Talk to strangers. Go to social meetings. Go to church. Go to whatever you got to do. Get out there. Speak to people. And tell them how you feel about it. Because it all starts when you tell people how you feel about it, because you'd be surprised how many more people feel the same way as you. If nothing taught us anything, let the Freedom Convoy be that moment in Canadian history that taught you that, wow, more people feel the way I feel than I thought. Get out there and talk. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go talk over in the Discord server. This is what we do at the end of the live streams on Friday nights. It's a lot of fun. If you're into it and you want to have a conversation more with some more people, head on over. This is what we're going to do. One of my moderators is going to put the link in the chat right here. It's only ever open. This link is only ever open when we do the live streams. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll join later, it's not available. It's only ever available. We do this because we don't want a lot of trolls coming in. We don't want a lot of bots and stuff like that. So we don't just make the link available all the time. It's kind of a niche conversation group. It's fun. It's great. I just don't want scammers and all that stuff. We had to weed all that stuff out of there. So if you used to be part of the server as well, and you're no longer there because maybe you got weeded out during one of the purges, because we had to purge a bunch of accounts, come on back. Everyone just got a kick. It's not a ban or anything like that at that time. If you've never been in there and you want to know what it's about, what is Discord? What's this? It's just another social media platform, and it happens to have some of the best open chat rooms where you don't have to download a piece of software or anything like that. It's web based. If you want to do it on your mobile phone, you do have to get the app, but it's not a paid service, anything like that. So just head on over. The link is right there, and we're gonna be over there chatting away. You don't need an invite. Other than that, we'll be in the chat room, and that's what we do. So I want to put this out there. For all the Texans over the past 2 weeks that I was down there, thank you so much for your hospitality. It was a fantastic visit. Can't say enough good things about the state. I cannot say enough good things about the state. It was fantastic. Traveled around, got to see a lot of different places. So a lot of contrast to two different places and like how people are. Didn't see the whole state. It is huge. So obviously that'll come with time. But excuse me. Big thanks to that. Big thanks to everybody who stuck with me with a weird upload schedule. You'll notice that I've been uploading some short segments of the longer videos. I hope you all like that. I hope that's something that you're into. We're gonna try to get a better upload schedule so you know the difference between my usual morning videos, the short segments of the long conversations, and then obviously the live streams that happen in the evenings. We're gonna be throwing a bunch more at you all in the coming months. This is ramping up. Things are ramping up, so I'm really excited about what's to come. I love providing you guys with content and providing you guys with the news and the stories about what's happening around Canada, not just from myself, but from the opinions of so many others. If you haven't already, go check out the Ben Bankus interview that I did just a few days ago. That was in a live studio. Ben Bankus is a well-known Canadian comedian who's made the move to Austin. He's from Toronto, grew up there. He even did a joke bid for the Toronto mayor a while back. It was really funny. He ran for mayor against Olivia Chow. It was hilarious. Go check out the interview. We're going to be putting up more clips from that, but it was just such a pleasure to sit down with him. I love what he's doing, pushing the limits of comedy. And it's just, I mean, for me, it's a pleasure to get to talk to some of the greatest people out there. Invalid link on Discord. Good golly. I'm going to make sure that we're good to go on Discord before I take off here. So let me just make sure that the link is good. I'll have to make a new invite link and then just verify that it's all working for everybody. So I got to disable that. There we go. Just give me 1 second. I'll make sure that everyone's able to do that wants to join. And then we'll head on over. Okay, close that. Yeah, expired link. This is a good link. Tell me if it worked. Tell me if it worked. And then we'll head on over. We get full service gas here, but it's only to fill, nothing else. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense because it's just not worth their time to do like $5 at a time, I guess. Expired link. It worked. It worked. Okay. Links as invalid as Carney's Epstein excuses. Oh, I love that. Thank you. It's late in Texas, night. Yes, it's 2 hours different than from here. So yeah, you guys, if you can't make it, that's fine. We'll see you all in the next one. That's it, y'all. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you in the next one. Keep on trucking.